Hello, everyone. I think we are ready to start. So we have people gathered joining the webinar. And welcome everyone to the webinar, how to do a mapping of a startup ecosystem. First of all, let us introduce ourselves. So my name is Tatiana Belaeva, and I'm a senior entrepreneurship researcher at Skopje.
And I'm Christopher Weatherwax, an analyst at Skopje. It is a pleasure to have everyone.
Yeah, so this webinar will last about 40 minutes and it will discuss the following points. First of all, we will talk about the interest in startup ecosystems, and then we will define what startup ecosystem is. We will talk about different ecosystem mapping tools and give you an example of artificial intelligence startup ecosystem. And we will finish with the demonstration of one of the tools to map startup ecosystems, which is Skopje platform. And at the end, we will answer to your questions and comments that you are very welcome to ask by writing them by writing them on the webinar platform, and we really encourage you to do that so that we can have a very engagement conversation and discussions on at the end of the webinar. Also, I would like to inform that for all the participants and everyone who registered to the webinar, we will send the slides of the presentation that I'm showing now. So you will have it with you in order if you would like to look on the slides later. And so now we will start with our first topic. Why understand startup ecosystem and build a mapping. According to multiple studies, entrepreneurs, the study shows that entrepreneurs are most successful when they operate in the environment favorable to entrepreneurship. That is, they have access to different kinds of resources, human resources, financial resources, or professional resources, as well as they have support from the governmental agencies or favorable regulatory environment. And this network of different actors supporting entrepreneurs was called the entrepreneurial ecosystem. Different organizations are interested in building a startup ecosystems. For example, large companies, investors, and government. For large companies, ecosystem mapping allows to identify and to see the main actors that create and support innovation in a particular field. For example, the innovation department of the large organization may be interested in scouting for the new innovations in a particular domain. So in the domain the company operates in, for example, in the healthcare sector, and to see what are the most promising innovations, what are the large companies in the field, what are the institutions and research centers that do research and that have recent publications on the new developments in that field. Second, for investors, ecosystem allows better understand their portfolio companies that they have financed or they are planning to finance, and to benchmark with the other companies in the ecosystem. In this way, they can see the role or the place of the startup from their portfolio within the ecosystem to see the flow of information and resources that can be used and leveraged by a startup in order to succeed. And thirdly, for government, ecosystem enables monitoring the innovation environment of a particular territory and also compare it with other regions. For example, the territorial agencies or the government can be interested in monitoring the ecosystem of a particular city, for example, ecosystem of Paris, and compare it with the other ecosystems such as London or Geneva, as well as compare the ecosystems of different countries, for example, France with Germany, with UK, with the United States. And before discussing the different tools that help to map the innovation ecosystems, it is important to understand what the startup ecosystem is. And when we look at the term ecosystem, we can see that it is built up from two words, so two parts. The first part is eco, which means home, and the second part is a system, which means complex. And taken together, it is a complex system hosting a number of entities. Initially, the concept of ecosystem has been used mainly in the field of biology and ecology, and later on, this metaphor has been also applied to the other domains such as management, innovation, and entrepreneurship. And we can define startup ecosystems as a complex system that consists of a group of startups and related organizations such as universities, corporations, investors, government, that work together as a system to create and scale new ventures. There are several key players in the startup ecosystems, which you can see on the slide. First of all, these are entrepreneurs themselves and startups, new ventures. They are mentors, investors, which include both venture capitalists and business angels. Incubators and accelerators and other support programs, universities with research laboratories and the process of technology transfer, corporations which often become the clients or partners of new ventures and help to commercialize their products and services. Association and events organized around a particular topic or particular field. Then the different governmental agencies and service providers, which include different agencies, recruiters, or consulting firms. According to the study of Spiegel, there are different attributes of a startup ecosystems, and the author have identified cultural, social, and material attributes. The cultural attributes include supportive culture for entrepreneurship and histories or stories of success entrepreneurship stories. The social attributes include human capital, such as worker talent, financial capital, investments, social capital, different networks, and mentors. And finally, the material capital includes policy and governance, universities and laboratories, different support services, physical infrastructure, and open markets. There are two broad types of startup ecosystems. The first one that you see on the slide is the example of a thematic ecosystem. And the example is on cybersecurity startup, a report developed by Wavestone and BP France Le Hub. This is a mapping of cybersecurity startups, which are divided into 8 larger groups, such as, for example, data security, network security, cloud security, or privacy. And the groups are also subdivided into subgroups, such as data security is divided into two subgroups, which are secure data exchange and watermarking. And this presents an examples of different themes or different sectors that specific sectors that cybersecurity startups operate in. This mapping also highlights the scale-ups. This is the logos that you can see on the down part of the slide. And so the fast-growing companies and also the unicorns, which you see on the right corner, which is in this ecosystem is one unicorn. The second type of startup ecosystem is geographical ecosystem. And on this slide, you see an example of startups of Rennes and Malo. And again, similarly here, all startups are subdivided into groups. And in this case, there are 10 groups, and these groups are divided thematically according to the solutions that startups provide. For example, it can be solutions for work, for health, or for the manufacturing or production. Now, having defined the concept of startup ecosystem, we can move to the different ecosystem mapping tools and how they can help to better understand the ecosystem. The different mapping tools can be divided into three broad groups. The first one includes ecosystem report and dashboards. The second group includes the different visualization tools. And the third group are the ecosystem data and visualization tools. Let's start with the first one. The first group, these are the ready-to-use reports on a particular ecosystem. Some organizations regularly produce reports and dashboards that describe different ecosystems of different cities. For example, here you can see the two examples. The first one is the Global Startup Ecosystem Report and Dashboard. And the second is a Global Startup Ecosystem Index Report and Dashboard. The first is done by Startup Genome in the United States, and the second Startup Link in Israel. And these two reports provide the ready-to-use solutions, rankings of different ecosystems. The third example that you can see on the slide is the mapping of startups, of French startups that provide impact, made by BP France and France Digital in France. And it provides an example of mapping of startups that provide environmental, social, and economic impact. This way, whether the first two examples are more about the geographical ecosystem, the third one provides an example of a report of a thematic startup ecosystem. There are different advantages, but also limitations of the reports and dashboards. Among the advantages are that the reports, they are ready to use, and they are fast, so it is ready information that can be used for your needs. It provides also the rich information and generally free of charge and can be downloaded from the internet. However, as the ecosystems and information are predefined in the reports are not customizable. And also, the reports can be missing for specific ecosystem criteria. For example, they may not exist for a particular ecosystem if you are searching for ecosystem of a particular city that you cannot find the already existing report. So this is one limitation. And another is when you need, for example, specific criteria, for example, fundraising or patents information, and this information is not included in the report. And these are the limitations of this type of ecosystem mapping tools, and that's why they cannot be applied to all cases. The second group of mapping tools is tools that allow to visualize startup ecosystem. And these tools normally provide the visualization functions when the data are already collected. Here we can find the different types of ecosystem templates, and I provide two examples. The first is ecosystem map by strategy tools. This map allows to visualize ecosystem, identify key players, and identify strengths and weaknesses. For example, it identifies eight different key players, and on the right up corner you can see that this template has been applied to map the Swiss tech startup ecosystem. The second template, called ecosystem mapping by Board of Innovation, it's a different way to visualize the ecosystem, and it focuses on a particular company. So it allows to identify the players in the ecosystems and how they are related to each other. The main solution and the customer are placed in the center, and with the different actors, their relationships are created in order to see the flow, how the value flows from the creation to the end user. And this template has been applied to the ecosystem of a healthcare company that you can see an example on the on the down right corner. Also, there are different visualization tools such as Tableau, Canva, or Flourish that allow to visualize the data that is already collected. So you can use them in order to in order to create the designed maps or graphs in order to visualize the data that you already have. As for the advantages of this type of ecosystem mapping tools are that they are customizable. They allow visualization of own and specific data. They also have the modern and professional design and often provide interactive presentation. However, among the limitations are that the data must be collected separately before using the tool. And also it takes, because of that, it takes more time, because first the data has to be collected and then visualized. And also subscription is often needed in order to get the advanced features. The third group of mapping tools are the tools that provide data and visualization. So the key difference of this group of tools is that they also collect the data on startups and innovative companies, and they have the analytics functions, analytics tools in order to visualize the data directly within the tool. And the examples are Dealroom, Crunchbase, or Scopy. These tools are normally based on big data and artificial intelligence algorithms in order to collect data and to update the information on the companies, since which is especially important in the startup context, as these companies are very dynamic and change fast, and new events appear that has to be the data on which should be collected. Among the advantages of this type of tools is, of course, data availability. So there is no need to collect the data separately or before using other tools or using the survey, for example. They are customizable with different filters. They contain information about all startups, but it is possible to define a particular field. For example, the startup located in a particular country or region, the startup in a particular domain, for example, in space technology. The startups in a particular field, stage of development, for example, the early stage startups or go-to-market companies. They provide fast the information that about startups that you can get is fast and also up to date. And as I told, they are oftentimes based on big data and AI. Among the limitations of these tools, we can say that the information that they provide is quasi-exhaustive because it depends on the availability of the public information. That is, as the data is collected using the publicly available data, the data is not the amount of data is not the same for different startups, and for some startups the data can be missing, while for the others the tool, the algorithms can collect more data. And this provides a difference in terms of the data for different companies. And also subscription is required to get the full access to be able to use all the functionalities of these platforms. Now we can move to an example of artificial intelligence startup ecosystem, a study that has been conducted using the ecosystem mapping tools, and namely the data and visualization tool Scopy and the visualization tool Canva. This study is based on more than 12,000 artificial intelligence startups worldwide that have been extracted from the Scopy platform. The focus is on European and French startups, and the data is based on the publicly available data on the internet. The study analyzes different characteristics of artificial intelligence startups. For example, it maps the maturity level, and we can see that more than 70% of startups are on the go-to-market stage, with 21% early stage companies. More than 1,000 startups have been created over the last 3 years. In terms of technology, we were able to extract the data on particular patents, and it was found that 1,800 startups, or 60% of the sample, they have registered patents. There were more than 12,000 patents found that are related to startups, and which gives an average of 6 patents by startup. Also, the study maps the different actors to whom startups are related to. For example, it was found that AI startups have been financed by more than 1,400 different investors and grant programs, which include, for example, SME Instrument Program by European Commission, BP France, Google Ventures, Sequoia Capital, and others. AI startups have been part or participated in more than 100 different incubators, accelerators, and technology transfer officers, such as, for example, IT Health, the French Tech, Techstars, Station F, and others. AI startups have, as a part of more than 30 different business clusters on different topics, such as Minalogic, which is focused on digital technologies, or Aerospace Valleys that focus on space technologies and drones. And finally, startups have built relationships with more than 400 different industrial, academic, and governmental partners in order to develop innovations and commercialize their products. And as examples, you can see some of the companies such as Microsoft, Google, IBM, Airbus, or Amazon Web Services. And now I would like to give a floor to Christopher in order to show the Scopi platform and how it can be used to for the ecosystem analysis.
Thank you very much, Tatiana. Oh, no. Thank you very much, Tatiana. If you look at my screen, this is a preview of the Scopi platform, but we're going to move right on in. And like she mentioned, I'm going to cover how Scopi can be used for visualization and helping people quickly get an idea of what's going on in their ecosystem. So here's the personification of our AI, Alfred. He's the man behind the curtain who does a lot of work keeping our startups as up to date as possible with new startups, new fundraising events, and so on. And then this is the platform in general. What we have today to show you are two landscapes that have been put together. So we'll start with energy, and this is going to show you how we use how we can use technology as a vertical with the ecosystem. So what we have here are a few charts that are going to show you just a quick idea of what's going on. If we look first, we have 4,706 results. This is a number that's constantly growing thanks to Alfred, our AI. If we look here, the first thing we have is the percentage of startups that have deep tech tags. This is going to refer to any number of startups that have a technology they've been working on for 10 plus years. So we can quickly see that we have 3.71%. So 149 startups out of this ecosystem are related to deep tech or have that deep tech technology. And then breaking it down a little bit more, we can come here and we see the distribution of startups by their maturity. In the energy tech specifically, we can see that we have a number of startups that are going to market, mature and early stage. And then if we look here a little bit, we can also see the scale, unicorn, closed, and acquired. The next we have is a word cloud that represents the importance of tags. We use tags for Alfred to understand and help us sort the startups into different landscapes or ecosystems. So of course in energy, we can see here we have energy tech, clean tech, environment tech, sustainability, and a number of different ones just relating to how prevalent they are in here. The larger they are, the more prevalent in the landscape. And then we have one more chart here. This is the total fundraising in euros. We can see the number for 2022, 2021, and so on and so forth. And this gives us a quick idea of what's going on as far as trends. But we also have a number of customizable charts. So one thing we specifically focus on here is the number of patents. So we have a chart here. We can just click and bring that down. And what you can see is over the years, how many number of patents have been filed in this energy landscape or ecosystem. But we also allow people to make their own charts. So earlier we could see that we had the total fundraising, but let's try a count of fundraising events. On the x-axis, we will have the event date, fundraising, and we will just click count. And what that does is creates the chart for us. And we can go ahead and save that. And now it's going to be saved into are charts we can see in the future. So we can see the count of fundraising events versus the total fundraising over the years, and see that there might have been less, but more average. But we also allow you to search through, or allow people to search through different verticals. So specifically with this energy landscape, which is located globally, we can plug in different countries here and add countries, which is going to change the number of results, of course. In this ecosystem, only 265 or 256 are located in Germany, but it does affect all of our charts here. So we scroll down and now we can compare what's the most prevalent here, fundraising specifically for Germany. We notice there's a very high uptick in the recent year, patents, and so on and so forth. And we can also go ahead and add a few other filters as well. So we have Germany. Maybe we want to see what's going on in Spain. So we can add country, and this will allow us to search a number of countries. Specifically, we're interested in Germany, Spain, and let's do the United Kingdom. Here we go. And this shows you the same information again, but just breaking it down by geographic region. We see we have 13 startups here that use deep tech, same information, so on and so forth. But this allows people to visualize what's going on in the areas of interest very quickly. So I'm going to reset the filters here and take you to our second landscape. This is Region Sud. It's the southern region of France. And what this is it shows the number of startups. And again, we have all of these specific information. All the charts we had before will still be here, along with the other ones you can add. But we can also search regions now by tech filters. So one of the specialties of the southern France, beautiful, is tourism. So we can go ahead and keyword search tourism. And here we have 45 results. And now we can get an idea of what's going on specifically in this region by keyword. So in the tourism field, number going to market, travel tech is important here, tourism, smart city culture. And again, just it helps people visualize what's going on very quickly. Alfred and analysts, myself included, work hard to make sure this information is both up to date and accurate as possible. So we'll go back to the presentation now. And just a little bit of information about our platform. The website, of course, is www.scopeye.com. Everyone here, we appreciate having you. If you're interested in a free trial, you can either go through the website, or you can follow links to create your own token. If you want a more in-depth showing of everything the ScopeEye platform can do, you're more than welcome to request a demo. Myself or Guillaume will take care of you. And lastly, on our website, we have a number of blog articles where we where our marketing team puts together up-to-date articles on trends and what's going on in different ecosystems. It's a great way to see different trends that are happening or different developments, and they're very good reads, so make sure you check that out. And lastly, we'll move on to a Q&A. So at this time, if you have any questions for myself or Tatiana, do not hesitate to ask. We'll answer them to the best of our abilities.
Thank you very much, Christopher, for your talk. And now we are ready to move to your questions, to your comments that that you may have after watching and listening to our presentation. You can write them so in the system and send, so that we answer to all of them. So currently we will take a few moments to wait for the questions. And we got the first question, who use your tool to make mapping? So as there are different types of organizations that use the tool. So they are, first of all, large companies. In particular, they are innovation, open innovation, R&D departments, for the purpose to scout startups in their particular field, in order to be ahead of competition and to partner with them to provide to propose new innovations on the market. The second group the second group of organizations are investors, also accelerators, for benchmarking the companies that they are willing to invest to. And the third group of actors that are using the tool to do mapping is governmental agencies, in particular, to understand what's going on in their country, in their territory, what are the innovative companies, what are the last events, and to build analytics and statistics and mapping on that. We have another question from Natalia. Do you implement different additional functionalities in comparison to DL Room? So in comparison to DL Room, as well as the other tools that provide data and on and analytics on startups, we are different in a way that we focus not only on not purely on the financial information, but on technological innovation. So in this way, we provide the functions related to analysis of technologies, such as patents, such as description of technologies, such as description, so the technological description of startups, of its technology, publications of the company or the founders. We do also the different ranking, different readiness levels. We have 3 of them: technology readiness level, market readiness level, investment readiness level. And another difference, I would say, that we also provide the deep tech analysis, deep tech insight on startups. So the users can select a particular company and ask for in-depth analysis covering all the domains: technology, product, market, network, and finance, as well as rankings. That is the information that is completed by innovation experts. So here is a combination of artificial intelligence strengths and innovation experts that are expert in the field and help to augment and making more deep this information and analysis.
So what are the types of products you provide? So we have 3 main types of product that we work with. The first one is going to be the landscape, which you saw today, either energy or region sud. We work with our clients to customize specific criteria for that, usually along the 2 verticals we talked about: technology and region. So they'll search for specific technology in a specific region or globally, however they prefer. We also do what Tatiana talked about, and that was going to be the DTI, or Deep Tech Insight. And these analysts, again, like myself and the others, we work to put together a full company profile where we look at the events they've taken part in, their scientific articles, patents, their market, their team cooperation, the specific technology. We do a write-up, and then we also rank these on a multiple number of criteria to provide you a fairly comprehensive analysis of what they're doing. And then the last product we have is our database. So this, unfortunately, it's a little tiring for all of us to update all of the startups, but this is comprised of information that Alfred finds and is there in general, and it allows our clients to specifically make somewhat of their own landscapes or their own research using the tags, keyword searches, different geological or geographical criteria to find startups that fit their needs. So these are the three different products that we provide for our clients.
Another question, do you plan to partner with other platforms in the future? So I would say that it's a rather strategically oriented question. There is, in other words, like this is about, I would say, competition. So we have a competition, a cooperation, and taking together it creates a competition when the companies that are basically competitors, so other platforms, they cooperate together in order to provide better value. In terms of Scopai, so currently, yeah, as I told, it's the strategic decision. But what's our mission is to be able to is to provide our users with their up-to-date and exhaustive information about startups. And so we are with that in as our aim. We are working to have the most so the biggest so the platform with most of startups, as well as the information that is about them, that is available and that is updated up to date. So yeah, I don't know if it answers specifically the questions about about the partnerships. Currently, yeah. Currently, as I told, it's yeah, strategic questions about the plans, but our strategy will go in a way that the product is as I told, with exhaustivity of both covering of startup and information about them. What are the next question? What are the elements of a startup ecosystem? So there are different elements of the ecosystem that includes, first of all, startups themselves, but also the other organizations that startups are related to, that help them to grow, that helps to commercialize their products, which include research centers. So it's research centers to be able to build the most up-to-date products in different domains. It is large companies, organizations, finance, of course, in order to have funds to build the product. And we have also the question about the data sources. What are the data sources that we collect? So using AI algorithms, we have different data sources that from which we collect the data. So they include the startups websites. They include the social media accounts such as Twitter, for example. We crawl also the media channels and regular for the news such as fundraising or awards. We also have take data about from business registers, which are different from in different countries, and the patent database. So this is the examples of the main sources that we take from which the data is taken. And another question is, can I export the data from the tool? Yes, it is possible to do so. So the data can be exported in Excel file and then shared with colleagues, or you can perform your analysis or use, for example, another tool to visualize if some specific visualization is required above the available on the platform. So in this way, it's highly customizable. I think so. We have answered all the questions that we have received, and I think it's time to finish our webinar. To remind one more time, we will send to all participants and registrants the slides that we have shown today. So so that you will have, and with to look through again if you would like to share with colleagues if also needed, or to have the links if you would like to try the platform. And thanks very much for attending the webinar and being with us today.
It was a pleasure to have everyone. Again, just repeating what Tatiana said, do not hesitate to reach out, communication@Scopii. And if you have any questions in the future, we're available. And thank you again.
Thanks. Have a good day. Bye.